Hello, hope y'all are doing well. It's October 15th. It is Saturday evening, and today I'm going to be talking about a couple of big things. They're not really big things, but a couple of things in general. I'm going to be talking about the big cool down in the East next week. Same thing I've been talking about for several days, for several videos at least. And then I'm going to be talking about kind of looking at mid to long range. Not really long range, but there's something that's I'm starting to notice. So we'll take a look at that at the end of the video as well. First off, let's talk about the Southeast real quick. These were lows this morning. We can see most of Georgia was in the 40s. Of course, same with Alabama, but then you have Birmingham and also Atlanta and Georgia with higher lows likely because of the heat from Atlanta and Birmingham. But then as you go further north, there, you notice it gets noticeably warmer in Tennessee. This is because this is going to be slow, like pushing south again more tonight, which we'll take a look at that in just a second. But yeah, we can see areas of Tennessee only got down in the 50s. Nashville only got down in the 60s, low 60s. Areas outside of Nashville, we can see 50s. That was this morning. But yeah, let's start off by looking at temperatures actually. So I mean, tomorrow morning looks fairly okay across the southeast. Not really any problems. It'll be pretty cold across like Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, but not really abnormal for October. Pretty normal temperatures all the way to the coast. We can see there Central Florida even getting into the 60s just north of Orlando. We can see that warmer air kind of pushing in. Then yes, like in Tennessee, northern Alabama, this is pretty much the same area, just a little bit bigger. Could only stay around 60 or in the upper 50s. And tomorrow we can see a very warm day for October across much of the South. 80s across most of Georgia. I mean, sometimes some areas could push 90 in southwest Georgia potentially. 80s all the way up into Virginia or North Carolina. And we do see some areas get some showers more. You can see it's cooler in Tennessee where you have some of that rain earlier, and then it pushes into Virginia a little bit there, which looking at radar, we can see, yeah, so we start tomorrow by like seeing showers pretty further to the west, even some storms over in like Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas. And then we see more showers and maybe some thunderstorms going throughout the day, or throughout the afternoon into the evening tomorrow, pushing east into Virginia, North Carolina. These slowly weaken once they really enter Virginia, North Carolina. And probably most areas in Georgia or South Carolina, pretty much the further east you are, the less chance you have. Pretty much like what it normally is. Less chance you have for rain at least. So yeah, now looking at other stuff other than just the southeast, looking at the whole U.S. now. So temperature wise, so we've been looking at this big cool down. We can see these are temperatures Monday morning. You can already see that cool air getting pushed down into already the Ohio Valley, Midwest, Great Lakes, even the Northern Plains getting on it, Grand Forks and Fargo over there in the 20s. Monday afternoon, very cold. Some areas not getting above freezing in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and UP and Michigan. Still remaining warm across the south, though. You can see that front is not fully pushed down there yet. So I mean, still 80s, 74 in Atlanta, 72 in Birmingham. Texas still pretty warm, especially in East Texas and the Northeast along the coast. But then we can see Tuesday morning that front is really pushed down. We can see temperatures in the 20s and the 30s, are really just below freezing, pushing all the way down into the mountains. We can see a pretty sharp gradient, though, about right there, with those temperatures that are below freezing. Tuesday afternoon, we can see very cold for October standards, I'd say. We're looking at 40s for a lot of the Great Lakes, the Midwest, kind of like eastern areas of the Northern Plains. I mean, like western areas are pretty warm, 60s. Or like around 60, not warm, but for the northern plains, I mean, 60s not that bad. Uh, still cool for this time of year. I'd say. Uh, Northeast though, pretty cool as well. The front is pushed through. Also the southeast, the front has cleared. Central Florida is also cooler. I mean, you can see 74 in Orlando there. But temperatures in the 50s across most of the southeast. You can see we have our lovely warm nose pushing into eastern Georgia and western areas of South Carolina. But I mean, even those areas will probably barely hit 60. And then Wednesday morning, many areas are below freezing all the way into the southeast. And areas around Atlanta and Birmingham are below freezing, or about freezing, like a frost, 34, 33. Kind of just depends how far north you are. Even down in like Mobile though, 38 in Mobile. So yeah, this is pretty rare for October. I mean, this definitely is not like an event that hasn't happened in a while. Or, nah, that's not what I wanted to say. This is not like an event that hasn't happened ever. I mean, this is not. I mean, this happens pretty frequently. I'd say it's not. This is not an every year thing. Though, this is happens maybe like once every like 8 to 10 years. I haven't looked into it too much, but I mean, I know this isn't extremely rare for many of those areas to get below freezing in October. It's still a little early in October though as well. So, I mean, it's still only like October 18th is when we're talking about for this. So October 18th and October 19th. Then again into Thursday morning though. Once again, very cold in the southeast. A little bit of like moderated temperatures, still a little warmer, but still that cold air is also still pushing a little further east. Thursday, it still hasn't warmed up a whole lot. Most of the central U.S. has warmed up, as well as the Midwest areas in the Midwest. East is slowly warming up. Yeah, the European temperature-wise, I don't think it's a whole lot different. Really now, I think it's still a little cooler for like daytime highs. Yeah, still like a little cooler for daytime highs, but it also doesn't have as much of a widespread freeze. The European is much more of a frost in the southeast, but much more like widespread freeze across kind of that area. Also temperature anomalies with this. You can clearly see that cold air coming straight down from Canada, with temperatures like 20 degrees below average straight into the southeast. Then I think that's the storm system. Wait. I think, is that the storm system? I don't know. Well, that's what we're going to be talking about next. There's another storm system that's this is really in the mid-range, or like, this is not long range, I'd say, but definitely not long range. There's been a new storm system that's kind of been showing up. It's a little hard to tell like exactly what it's looking like at this point because there's still a lot of uncertainty with it. It's a little over a week out. But we can see, Sunday, really like Friday and the Saturday next weekend, it's bringing a good bit of mountain snow in the areas in the northwest, and then it moves into the northern plains, and brings a good little like mini blizzard in northern Minnesota. Previous runs of the GFS have also, or like the 12Z for example, has also had this. It really came together at the 8, or like with the 18Z run, a little bit more. There, yeah, see that. How back in like the 06Z, it's lacking a little bit of that moisture, but it really got together with the 18Z. Now, the European, on the other hand, is not going like full-on blizzard at this. It does have this storm system, though, like over practically the same area. So I'm just looking like this is going to be our next thing to really watch, kind of across this area. Because before that, there's just like our cooldown next week, that whole entire system. Uh, and then that kind of moves out, and then we just see that. So it's really going to be the next thing we're going to want to be tracking. Uh, we'll see what it does. Right now, there's not a whole lot of certainty if we're going to see any like wintry precip or anything. But it's looking like this will be our next storm system in some way. Yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Sorry if I sound a little tired. Been up since 3 for cross country. It's pretty good, pretty good. So yeah, sorry about that. Should be back tomorrow. Nothing going on. But yeah, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Hope you all have a great Sunday. Yeah, goodbye.